about division, that is of integers and decimals. So let's first quick look at positive integers. Division is inverse of multiplication. Here's an example of what's meant by that. It's just a different way of phrasing the question, really. We can use short division. I'm going to show you how to do short division, okay, using this example here. So I've got 8, and it's going to be 8, 9, 6, 5, 6. So 8 is the one I'm doing dividing by. So that goes out the front. Inside goes the number that it's been divided. So now I have a look and go, 8 goes into 8 once. 8 goes into 9 once. But I have one left over. That goes next to the number to the right, just next to it. So that means 8 goes into 16 twice. 8 goes into 5. Well, it doesn't, so I put a 0 up there. 8 goes in, and I've still got to account for that 5 though. So it's now 56. 8 goes into 56 7 times. So that would be my answer. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, so we're looking at division of positive and negative integers. So to keep in mind, same as the multiplication, same sign, positive answer, different sign, negative answer. So I'm going to give you some questions to work out for A, B, and C. Is it positive? Is it negative? You tell me the answer. Okay, don't worry about the actual answer, but I want to know whether it's positive or negative. Now, I'm going to come back and we'll go through the answers. Okay, welcome back. This is a positive out there, so it's a positive and negative. That means the answer is going to be negative. Okay, for B, I've got a negative and a positive. So guess what the answer is going to be? A negative again. It's about remembering these rules, and you can just remember the rules, go, hang on, if that's what it is, then I can work out the answer. If I've got a negative and negative, I've got two of the same sign. So the answer is going to be a positive. So basically the answer for, let's look at the actual answer for A. It's 10 divided by 2 is 5, and the answer is negative. 12 divided by 4 is 3, and the answer is negative. 20 divided by 5 is 4, and the answer is positive. So I'm going to have 4 or plus 4, whichever you prefer. Okay. Dividing numbers that are multiples of 10. So when we've got multiples of 10, we've got equivalent. If we've got an equivalent number of zeros, they can be cancelled from both the dividend and the divisor. The dividend is a quantity to be divided. So in the example I've got below, that is the dividend. The divisor is a number by which the dividend is to be divided. In the example, that's a 600. Okay, and the quotient is just one of the mathematical terms we use. Is the answer obtained when one number is divided by another number. Okay, so one way we can write that is go 4, 8, just to give you a visual representation, sort of, so it's really clear. Okay, I've got 2 zeros here. I've got 2 zeros. That's what I mean by cancelling. So effectively what it looks like now is 480 divided by 6. And we can actually do that one. We can go 6. We can do this as a short division. 6 divided by, so 480 divided by 6, okay? Okay, so 6 goes into 4 once, so we can't do it. 6 goes into 48, 8 times. 6 goes into 0, 0 times. So the answer is, answer. Okay. When we divide in decimals, set out as you would for whole numbers. We've gone through that. Divide the whole numbers as you would for whole numbers. We know how to do that. Thing is now, when we reach the decimal point, write the decimal point in the answer directly above the question. So if I've got this set up here, and so I've got some numbers which I'm just representing by x's for the moment. I've got a decimal point. Okay, when I do my actual division, I put my decimal point above the same spot, so they line up. Okay, if there is a remainder, add zeros to the end of the decimal and keep dividing until there is no remainder. So what does that mean? We'll go through a question in a moment to explain that. Got a question here. So I write it as I would for a whole number. So I go 2, and then let's write 2.4896. Remember, put the decimal point at the top as the answer, the same position. Okay, so I go 4 divided by 2, I put a 0. Now I've got to put a 0 up there. Okay, remember, this part here, I've still got to do that whole thing. 4 divided by 24, 6. 4 divided by 8 is 2. 4 divided by 9 is 2. But I've got 1 left over. 4 divided by, sorry. So that should have been 4. How many times does that go into 4 go into 8 would be 2. How many times does 4 go into 9? That would be 2 with 1 left over. How many times does 4 go into 16? That would be 4. So that would be your answer. Now, if I get a question that looks like this, so 21.76 divided by 5, we do the same thing. We put 5, because that's one we're dividing by. So that's a divisor, and the dividend goes inside. So 5 goes into 21 0 times. But 5 into 2, sorry, 0 times. 5 goes into 21 4 times. Now I've got my decimal point there. I had 1 left over. So 5 goes into 17 3 times. But I've got 2 left over. 5 goes into 26 5 times. But I've got 1 left over. This is where we add the zeros. So we add a 0 there. So what that means is 5 goes into 10 twice. And that is our answer. Okay. All right, dividing decimals by multiples of 10. This is where we do the same sort of thing as we did in multiplication. We break the divisor up so it's got a power of 10 and another factor. So an example is 40. This is your other, and this is your power of 10. Power of 10. Okay. So in this case, you divide by 4 first and then by 10. Now, before when we had multiplication, if we multiplied by 10, we moved to the right by 1 decimal point. That was because the 10's got 1 0. If we divide, we move to the left. In this case, because I've got 1 0, once. 100, I've got 2 zeros, so 2 places to the left. 3 zeros for 1,000, 3 places to the left. So what does that mean in reality? If I have, say, 6.34 divided by 1,000, what would my answer be? Okay, what we need to do is we've got 6.34. How many zeros do we have? We have 3 of them. So we move to decimal position back three spots. We go 1, 2, 3. So that's where our decimal point goes. I've got empty spaces there and there. That's where we put a 0 in. So our answer in this case would be 0.000634. Okay, here's an example of 40. We can break that up into 4 and 10. So we're going to do the other one first. So that's the other factor. We do the 4. So we're going to go 4. So we're going to go 4.8 divided by 4. 4 goes into 4 once. Put a decimal point. 4 goes into 8 twice. Okay, so that's step 1. Step 2. We're going to have 1.2 divided by 10. I've got 1 0. That means I can move this back, the decimal point back 1 position. So my answer is going to be 0.1 2. Okay, so when I've got this one, my factor is going to be 6 and 1,000. Okay, so that's your this is your factor of 10, and this is your other. So factor of 10, this is your other factor. Okay. Oh, sorry, it should have been not factor, power of 10. So this is the one we do first. So we go 6 divided by 19.2. So 6 goes into 1. It doesn't. 6 goes into 19 3 times. Put my decimal point there. I had 1 left over. 6 goes into 12 twice. So that's step 1. Step 2 would be to say 3.2 divided by, and that's that part there, divided by 1,000. What does that mean? That means I take my decimal position here and go back through. I go 1, 2, 3. So I'd have 0 and a 0 there. So my answer is going to be 0.0032. Okay, dividing a decimal number by another decimal number. What we need to do is when we look at the divisor part, which is in this case a decimal, we look at the last number and what place value is it in. In this case, it's a tenth. Okay, so we want to make this number a whole number, so we multiply it by 10. Okay, if we multiply that by 10, guess what we have to multiply the other one by then? By 10. So if your divisor, so I've got my divisor was 0.135. Okay, this is a thousandth. Okay, so that means I'd need to multiply that by 1,000 and whatever was here by 1,000. Okay, so we look at this question. We look at question A. So I want you to give these a go, and now we're back. Okay, so I got a tenth there, so I multiply that by 10, multiply that by 10. What does that mean? That means my position of the decimal point is moved, and it's moved. So I've got 267.24 divided by 4. Now I'm not actually going to do the long division right at the moment, just to save on time, but my answer would be 66.81. Okay. For B, what position is that? That position is hundredth. Okay, that means I multiplied that by 100, and I multiply that one by 100. What does that mean for this? I go move my decimal point 2 positions that way. I move my decimal point 2 positions that way. So what I've got is 302.76 divided by 12. Again, I'm not going to do short division just to save on time, but I've been through that, so you know the process you need to do for that. And my answer for that would be 25.23. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you. Bye.